back at it with Let's Talk About It Global with Miss McQueen. And my question was, so it's back to the meat again. And I really want to know, so if you are like getting turned off by meat and it's like, you're not eating as much, you might don't want it. Is it really your body that's saying like, oh, I don't want to eat, like it's like turn off, or is your mind telling your body that this is not what we want? So it's like it's causing that reaction to the body.
Good question. It's definitely the mind interjecting, because if you were ever a meat eater, you never had that problem before. So as a meat eater, why would you have that problem now? The message that you sent to the brain was what the information that I have collected, this is deemed not good for us. So the brain says, okay, cool. Then we're not going to be doing that anymore. We are now anti-meat. But unless you regurgitate it, I always tell clients, if you regurgitate something, that's the first acknowledgement from the body that it's not in agreement with it internally. But if it's not that, and it's just you saying that to yourself, then, and you were a previous meat eater, then you're now conditioning the mind to say, we don't like meat. So it says we don't like meat because it is an internal part of how you see the world. So now you see it as meat is not good. So it says, okay, then meat is not good. And that's what it's going to be.
And it physically affects you. That's crazy.
So that's the power of the mind, right? So that's good. So I don't know if you remember, Willie, but one time Taylor come to my house, and you know what I'm saying, I wanted something to drink, but I didn't want to leave the house, and I didn't have no alcohol. I had my shot glass. I had a cold apple juice. I'm in there pouring shot. He come in the house. You don't remember that? And he laughed. He was like, man, what you doing, man? I said, I'm sitting there getting nice, man. I'm at the bar, man. You know what I'm saying? He tripped on me. You know what I'm saying? But he understood me though, because I was chilling. I was by myself. I was comfortable. But I brought that up to say this. So we eating all of this processed food and stuff, right? Like, so why the mind can't, or do you think the mind can say, okay, this corn, this microwave corn dog is some daggone collard green.
All right, and then let me just add to that to speak to the previous point, because I always like to use myself as an example. So like I love steak. I used to love steak. And then, like you said, the waves was going around about, the vegan diet and, plant-based and cutting meat out and stuff like that. So I tried it for a while. And maybe a couple of years or so, I didn't eat red meat. I would still eat chicken sometimes, but it was mostly fish and seafood, stuff like that. So that went on for a couple of years. And then one day, I don't know, I just had a craving for a steak. I don't know. I don't know that. Seriously, I had a craving for a steak, and I went and bought a 3-pack, fried the grill up, cooked them, and threw them straight in the trash. I didn't even eat them.
You didn't even eat them? I
didn't even eat them. I didn't touch them. I didn't cut it open. The smell just turned me off, right? That was after I had a craving for it. So then maybe like another year goes by. I'm like, get this one more whirl. I was at a restaurant, ordered a steak. I ate it, but I was so sick. Like after the next couple days, my stomach was in knots. And after that, I was like, yeah, that's it for me. Like I can eat a burger every now and then, but like steak, like it's like, no, I don't think I've had like hardcore red meat like that in like 3 or 4 years now.
It's quite a few reasons why that would have taken place. One, when you expose the digestive tract to a lighter processing of food, it does pose more challenge to process red meat because it is heavier. But the other thing, the secret with red meat is that we really are more abusive to red meat than a lot of times it is to us. And what I mean by that is that we never eat it in its right portion.
Okay.
Red meat gets a bad rap. One, because of how the animals are slaughtered. That's one reason why it gets a bad rap. Two is because it says, oh, it's so heavy and it leaves this behind in the system. Well, this is it. If you're going to consume, as a nutrition coach, if I say, okay, you should be having 3 ounces of red meat cooked, 2.5 ounces it should cook down to. That's all your digestive tract can handle for red meat, because it's going to hold on to it, because it processes slower. One, because it extracts a lot of nutrients from red meat, B12 being one of the main ones, and for women, iron being number 1. So it processes through the tract slow because it's extracting a lot. Now, if you take it and put in an 8 to 12 ounce serving, yeah, you're going to be in trouble, because, and if you do that after you haven't had it in a year to 2 years, you're really in trouble, because the system's not used to digesting that. It probably would do the same thing with some chicken, because chicken is heavy, or beef is heavy, chicken is lighter, seafood and fish are lighter, and plant protein is the lightest. Okay.
So I guess I just had that steak craving just from the years built up from eating steaks, huh?
More than likely, your body, anytime the body has a craving, it's a direct reflection of lacking certain nutrients. The body doesn't just crave just to say, because the body's not a glutton. It doesn't just want something just to have it. Okay. It wants it because it's a reason. Either it's addicted to something, on the worst case, or if it's a nutrient and it's clean food, it wants it because something is in it that it has a memory of having before, and it wants you to go back and get it again. Okay. It could have been an influx of B12, different things that you don't get out of a vegetarian based diet.
Gotcha. So I don't know, I ain't trying to, call your age out or nothing like that, but I'm 34. But I remember, like, when I was younger, they used to say, like, if you had the little white things in your fingernails, like you was like calcium deficient or something like that, or something. Do you remember that? Yeah, because all your body, a lot of your body things are signs of deficiency internal. So that is true. There are a lot of the spots, and if you got ridges, it means something else. All those things are significant indicators. Significant indicators that something on the inside is going on. How do we know? Because if we change it and we start fortifying the body with what we see, what we know that is related to, then after about anywhere from 2 to 3 months, the person can see where it's not showing anymore. As it grows out, it's not there. The deficiency's been corrected.
So basically, the body always until it's over, the body always have a ability to recorrect itself.
The body always is in position to restore itself, repair itself, and rejuvenate over a course of 6 to 8 hours a night of sleep. It's always in that position. The only thing that deters it from being able to carry out its protocol is the type of food you're putting in it. That's why it's imperative that people understand what type of food they should be presenting to the body, what type of herbs or situations that they should be presenting to the body, because the body is just a receptor. It's there to receive. And it's also there to send you messages of what you're deficient in. It's like your ongoing, almost like your ongoing onboarding specialist. Is always sending you the signs and signals of what's not right. And then it's up to you to figure out what it is, how you need to get it. But that's when you're doing that figuring out, that's really where your spiritual part comes in. That download of go get this, go get that. This is just not coming from nowhere. It's coming from somewhere.
So then what is, I don't know if I'm gonna pronounce this right, Reiki?
Reiki therapy?
Reiki therapy? Yeah.
That's part of my background.
All right.
So the Reiki therapy, it works with energy. So what happens is that you're working with the energy that's around you, because now we know that energy can't be it can't be destroyed. It can only be transferred, really. So then if it's all around you, these are the things that we have at our disposal, but we don't use it because we're too busy in outdated narratives. And that is that we're just people, we exist. We've disconnected with the spiritual part of our power and knowledge. So when you come back into that, then you also come back into the knowledge of energy. And energy is not just alive and real. So for all my people that believe in vibration, the hertz, they're believing, listening to, we know this stuff is so ancient. I mean, Beethoven, those guys listen to certain forms of music. They know that notes carry certain vibrations raise certain frequencies, and certain frequencies get you to do certain things. They can bring you up, they can bring you down. We know that because of music. There's a song that you can listen to that makes you sad, and there's a song that makes you want to get on the highway and drive 1,000 miles an hour.
So look, so like, cause a friend of mine told me here recently, he opened my eyes to say, like certain songs, they play them in like a B flat, and then some. Then the up songs is in like a C or something like that.
Because notes carry vibration. They carry frequency. If you were able to watch them on a frequency or vibration chart, you see them, what level they're hitting. And the body is a vibrational being. It is a being that's meant to be in motion. So it's going to vibrate. It's going to connect with that energy. Everybody's going to connect with it differently, because we know from music, again, what one person responds to, another person won't. But the psychology behind that is that they know that, well, the majority will respond to this way. So then we go with that agenda, whatever that's going to be. So with the Reiki, it's addressing the energy field. And it addresses it as far as more from a healing standpoint. How do we use energy to heal, the body? Well, the energy, the way I practice it is used in connection with my spirit self. They go hand in hand.
So really, like, I mean, well, I would ask a rhetorical question. I'm gonna ask it anyway, because we all really truly know the answer. But why don't we learn this in school?
Well, what is the agenda?
I mean, there's a, you got
a lot of narratives out there.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say.
Is it advantageous for parts of society to have you know this? That goes back to why we ask questions about our curriculum. Well, why don't they teach us about finance? Why don't they teach us more about psych? Certain information,
or even your background, your real true heritage, because that means something, right? Like when you talk about spiritual vibration and connection.
Yeah, if you open the floor up for these, then you open up the mind to explore. Because what did I just say? The mind is an ongoing tape recorder. Once you give it something, it wants to hold on to it, and then now it wants to dissect it and examine and investigate it. So the best way to not have certain things is what? Not to expose. Don't expose you to it.
That's deep.
So then it becomes your responsibility as an individual to take the leading or the unction of your spiritual self and go on these personal journeys of self-awareness and self-development to get where you're going. And along the way, your help, your team, your tribe always shows up to help you on your journey. But you got to be willing to get away from the narrative, break away from that, and go where the spirit is leading you to go. Our connection as a nation right now is that we don't listen to the leading of.
You said listen to the leading?
The leading of, like the spirit wants to lead you. We're not connected with it though.
Well, when you have to understand, like, your true heritage in order to tap into that?
Nope. The reason being is because your heritage doesn't have a whole lot to do with your soul.
Okay.
Your soul is your soul. No matter, let's just say, for instance, if you've been, for those, just this is just hypothetical. Let's just say, for instance, you've been reincarnated 25 times. Then that means you got a whole lot of different heritages, don't you?
Wow.
The only thing that's the same about you is your soul.
Yeah.
So that would mean us tracing out.
That was crazy.
That was powerful. That was deep. That was, and that's why I was saying, like, so really the 23andMe and all that, the DNA tracing and all that, so that really don't have a real bearing on real life then.
It serves a purpose for those who have an agenda for a certain purpose. It does. If you are trying to find out, okay, I'll use myself for instance. 23andMe came back, said, okay, your last marker, we traced it, we couldn't find it. It is you're on your father's side, you're a descendant of King Ramesses III. So ancient Egyptian. What does that mean to me? That means that if I'm trying to, in the world, in the physical form, if I'm trying to make a connection back with that heritage, I want to take trips over there, I want to claim anything, that puts me in a position that helps me. So it depends on what your agenda is for the information that you obtain.
You see, right.
But at the end of the day, I reside to the fact that I am a spiritual entity carrying out a humanistic journey. And whatever I need from it in this journey, that's the supply of my source. So there's nothing here to me that can be held, that can be kept away because I'm tapped in.
That favor.
Yeah, that's deep.
And that's it. That cancels everything. Someone said, well, they want to do this, they want to do that. I'm not concerned with the they agendas. And that's what I want. A lot of other, as a body, I would like for the focus to come back to that, because as long as you're consumed with the narrative, at some point, like as metaphysicians, we'll say, you have to be careful what you allow into the doors and windows of your mind, because the mind is an ongoing tape recorder and it doesn't know the difference between reality and non-reality.
Yeah. It processes it all the same.
It processes it all the same. Right. If you say, oh, I'm going to be broke as a joke, it say, all right, got that, we'll make you broke tomorrow.
Duly noted.
So you need to not joke with the mind.
This is so powerful. So with your business, like you give this to an individual one-on-one?
I'm going into massive group coaching now so that I can actually reach more people, because there's only but so much one person can do and call themselves still balanced in it all. So I'll be doing it from a group session, but do I do one-on-ones? I do. I just have my one-on-ones limited. I work with a certain group of one-on-ones every year.
Yeah, that's
because I find too, in a group setting, just like this here, if I had 100 people on right now, look at that, it's 100 people for the same amount of time getting this knowledge and getting this exposure. And at the end of the day, when we go to sleep, that's what it's all about. What was I exposed to today that was constructive? What was I exposed to today that was destructive? But either way, you got exposure. But what kind? I can with technology now, I can speak to more than just my one-on-one.
That's real tough. Yeah, I mean, because this has to be spreaded to the masses. Well, not necessarily the whole masses, because we understand how that works, but this message has to be spread. Like, the Most High definitely, bless you and sent you here, and we just thankful to have you here, on this particular platform, because you need to be on like multiple platforms.
Good morning, America.
Yeah.
No, for real.
Look,
And that's also an agenda too. So
The View.
exactly.
Go talk to
It's
them and tell
coming.
them what's up.
It's coming. It's coming. I was just telling someone earlier today that I said, it's great to be, as much as there are challenges right now in our times, it's still a great time to be in. Where, at which time could we, as our collective nation, have gotten on this evening and do what we're doing right now without having, tons of this resource or that resource to make it happen? So
outside interference.
So, and then to be able to pull it together on demand is when you say it is, not when someone else says it is.
There you go.
So yeah, as much as there's a lot of stuff going on that we might deem as not so good, there's a lot of powerful and great stuff going on right here that's gonna make it all come out kind of in the wash. It's gonna all balance out in the end.
You're doing it right now.
There you go, the balance.
You're working right now.
That's all right.
Absolutely.
I have a question. So I'm big on chakras and like just like find out more about like the energy, because you said about Reiki and I'm interested in that too. But I just want to know, like, as far as like the chakra imbalance, do you think that's one of the reasons for like this disease in the body?
Because chakras are your energy sources, your energy poles in the system. Yeah, my belief out of all my education and understanding and experience is that, yeah, it is. I have, what better way to find something out and justify it to be fact or fiction than to do it yourself?
Absolutely.
So when I say, okay, well, I'm a healer by spirit, that's because I've had to heal myself first. And it wasn't just a little headache.
Took a while.
Even though that's still good, if you can apply energy to yourself that way and have it and have your body balance out. That just goes to show that proof that your body is connected to everything in and around it. And so when it comes to Reiki, it is allowing you to use your energy power in a different way. But it, to me, it magnified my abilities from where they were, from where I started out, what I started out with.
Right.
And then you got to go back to, when you get to your chakras, you can go through a lot of different paradigms. You got how people say, how do I raise my my vibration? And one way is nutrition. Your minerals are like king when it comes to the nutrients over your system. I mean, they are the spark plugs. You can have all the vitamins sitting around and they won't make a move until a mineral shows up and ignites.
Right. Exactly.
So then you say, okay, yeah, you get into your healing and all that, and you want to raise your frequency. A good way to feel on top of the world every day is to get in the darkest green vegetables that you can, because they're going to ignite the system unlike anything else.
Leafy greens, your kales, your collards, your spinach,
all your darks.
I definitely need your number one more time after this. But another question I had was, because I know you did school for quantum physics, so I just wanted to know, like, as far as like quantum, like how can quantum physics and the law of attraction relate to each other? And do you think they do relate to each other?
Okay, my certification is in quantum Reiki, but my my degrees are in metaphysics. So I know now they're going into quantum metaphysics, and quantum being is like. So,
right.
I said, oh goodness.
So quantum being is like, it throws the gasoline on everything. It takes everything to the next level, because it's like, as far as dimensions, if you say, they're pulling certain things that they're pulling it from supposedly from out into like right now. So that's how it really is supposed to change everything. My quantum Reiki training was in taking the original Reiki, and then combining it with quantum to make it more, to make it stronger, like now. And so when you get into energy, it's just supposed to make everything more now.
Right.
So where does the study or like the practice of Reiki like originate? Where, you know, I'm not too familiar. I mean, I got roots in the Virgin Islands, and I mean they do, I mean, Bodo and what's like pseudo voodoo. You know what I mean?
And then you get into like, those are like different, almost like different areas. How do I say it? It's kind of like if someone says, "Oh, well, you're spiritual," and I say, "Yeah, but my religious practice is Yoruba."
Okay, gotcha.
Kind of like that.
Same difference. Like, right, okay.
It's just that I say in a level of hierarchy, one is a master, but the other one's a grand master. So it's like your spirituality is always the grand. Anything coming up underneath it, like a religion, would be a master. Yeah. It's going to be almost like, to me, a subordinate, because when you get into that part, if the spirit is first and foremost, then everything else has to fall under it.
Like they say, gods, and then you got demigods, and you know, deities and prophets and angels and all that. Yeah.
Right, so everything has to fall in its respective order, which means that when you get down to it, everyone should always be back to source, and be led from there by source. And source is going to take everybody on their different pathway differently. So that's why I say everybody's journey is different. But as long as they know that they're tapped in, they know that they're on the best track for themselves.
Nice. Yeah. Right.
So deep.
This is
not that so deep.
Yeah, I will say this.
It keeps it simple. It really does. It keeps it simple, and it keeps all the cloudiness out of the mind, because the mind is a hellacious playground. But ain't no playing going on there. Everything that's happening in there is serious business.
All right, so look, let's go back to because Taylor he compounded my question earlier, but when let's go back to when I asked about the processed food and the mentality, like as far as because basically it's easy for us to say, eat healthy and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But some people just really, truly just can't afford it. So can the mind power, and like you say, can the mind power balance that? Can you be eating something that's completely not healthy and see it as being healthy?
Technically, science-wise, we say because you can control the mind, yes, the mind is shaping what you're receiving because that's what you're telling it. So, and basically, like you said with the earlier, like the corn dog.
Yeah, that was that.
Can you take the corn dog and come out to bring it out the microwave where it's already been destroyed somewhat and say, oh, now this is going to be the healthiest food for my system? Can the mind believe that? Absolutely. Absolutely. The mind can, you're in direct control of the mind. That's why in my training, I always teach that you want the spirit to be in control. You want it to be activated in your life because you want the mind to be submissive to it. Because if it's not, they're not telling what you might be out there doing, because the mind can be, it's like they used to call, my grandparents used to say, what's the devil's playground? There's a lot of stuff going on in the mind, and it must be brought under submission. So then it's listening to the body. So now the mind can't tell itself a lie and believe it, that it just pulled that corn dog out of the microwave. Right. For my body.
That corn dog is not a cucumber.
Yeah, exactly. Like, no, that's not gonna happen. Now you got me in here running interference. I got some things to do, but I'm gonna need you to stop doing that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just we have to keep the practicality that the reality between the Trinity of everybody is real. The spirit and the body and the nutrition that serves it is real.
Mm. All right, that's powerful. So let me just ask you this: like, any so anything you receive, even though it may go through your subconscious or whatever, whether but you receive it in your gut, right?
Like you talking about nutrition?
Like basically anything. Yeah, well, yeah, nutrition obviously, but your gut has a lot to do with it, right? Your body's being ability to receive anything.
As far as the gut playing its role in digestion, yeah, it's gonna receive that. I mean, how you receive like spiritual food and physical food are two different ways. If that's what you're asking.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to be received two different ways. The way that I feed my spiritual self is not the way I feed my physical self, because my spirit does not need food to survive.
Yeah.
It doesn't need me to consume anything. That's why you hear people going on fast and they say my energy and my vitality was stronger on the fasting days than it was when I put the food back in. Yep. Because they allowed the spirit to enlarge territory and grow. It shows you that you are a bona fide duality. It says try not eating and see if you can still live.
Right.
So
that's the power of fasting, right? Because you basically starve you
work with the spirit. You're shutting down your physical self to engage with your spiritual self.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That you have to nourish them two different ways. Yeah. And obviously that would be the case because one is a super being and the other one is not.
Yeah, your flesh is definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah, you can get bit by a mosquito and die.
Yeah, you exactly. Unless you know some other therapies that can bring your body under submission, you might have a problem.
Yeah, that's deep.
You know a few other things, you might not have a problem.
Yeah. There you
go. That's crazy because
it all depends on what you know.
I speak to G all the time about duality. Do I not, G?
Yeah,
I say that all the time. This world works on duality, bro.
It works on duality.
You got good and evil. You got right and wrong. You got left and right, up and down, north and south, east and west.
You got human and
black
spirit.
and white,
yin and yang,
yin and yang, whatever you want to, how you want to do it. Is the world? This world works on duality, and that's what balances.
Feminine energy.
There you go.
Everything is about polarity.
Global,
exactly.
Let's talk about the global, man. We've been blessed with the presence of the Queen, Miss khmcqueen.
Absolutely.
Hey, we wind
one more time for your number, please.
That number is area code 469-386-9574. Again, 469-386-9574. And the business is Couture Wellness and Beauty right now. When you talk to me again, whenever that is, hopefully sooner than later, it will be Meta Life Institute.
I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. The pleasure meeting you.
Yeah, it definitely was a pleasure.
Thank you. Yeah, I enjoyed being here with everybody.
Yeah, hopefully we can do it again soon. I mean, because this is it's mind-blowing information that a lot of people just really just not aware of, blissfully unaware, actually.
Yeah.
So
and I'm trying to take some of the blissfully unaware out of the picture.
Yeah,
because it's not good. It's not good. It's not so blissful not to be an unknowing of what affects your mortality.
Yeah.
There you go.
And your quality of life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's deep, y'all. Hey, man. Hey, we
Let's talk
wrap
about
it
it,
on
Glow.
up, man. I hope everybody, caught Miss Karen's, information. Hey, man.
We're gonna let's put a link. Let's put a link in the description for Miss McQueen's bio, or her email or whatever contact information she's comfortable with putting in the description. We can do it like that. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, definitely, man. Because hey, man, that's a beautiful thing, man.
All right.
Hey, one love, guys.
Yes.
Let's talk about it global.
Good night.
Yeah.
Y'all be safe. Whatever y'all do, be safe. It's
great.
supposed to be some bad weather, so y'all be safe. And we usually end off with a little known Black history fact, but I'm gonna say that for the next time.
Ain't nowhere to run to, ain't nowhere to hide. You gotta face it face to face to your eyes. Nowhere you can run to, ain't nowhere you can be and not see the laws of LOV. Ain't nowhere to run to, ain't nowhere you can go, and if you could, then you'd have gone before. Ain't nowhere to run to, I gotta show and prove and take my time while I'm on my grind. Look, they used to catch me speeding, weaving in and out lanes. Most of the time I was steaming, green up high out my brain, untamed, unleashing pain, conversate with myself. Yeah, they see me with a smile, my real feelings are stealth. I dealt with the pain of losing close loved ones, and the pain of losing close loved ones. We don't speak no more. Tell me how I reach my peak and ain't blow. I speak the teaching, y'all niggas should know. R.I.P. to mine. I'ma see that your legacy gon' live on. I be praying for my daughter for infinity. God is good, but it's the evil that be creeping in secret, embedding in lifestyles and cutting them lights out. It's really lights out when you live in the dark.